Welcome back to the cryptoworld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, Bitcoin is finally playing out this rare signal that could pump the price well beyond $50,000, while Bitcoin is also playing out this short-term breakout heading towards this bullish price target, while Ethereum is doing the same in the short term. But if you missed those trades, there's also potentially another opportunity waiting for us as Solana is on the cusp of a major breakout. So I'll be talking about all of that and so much more later in the video, so definitely watch to the end. First of all, just before getting into the price charts, we need to talk about some spot Bitcoin ETF news because we have massive news. Over the last one day, BlackRock has bought a massive amount of Bitcoin. Roughly $200 million worth of Bitcoin has flown into the BlackRock Bitcoin Trust, the iShares Bitcoin Trust, over the last 24 hours. And so at least as of right now, BlackRock is currently holding around 82,500 Bitcoin worth over $3.7 billion US, as we can see here on BlackRock's own website. And recently, BlackRock's been buying around 1,000 to 2,000 Bitcoin each weekday, but obviously over the last one day, once again, they've bought around 4,500 new Bitcoin, adding into the Bitcoin ETF. And just for perspective, only 900 Bitcoin is actually mined per day on average, and after the Bitcoin halving coming in just a couple months from now, only 450 Bitcoin will be mined per day and added to the supply. And so, of course, in just a couple of months from now, when there's only 450 new Bitcoin coming into circulation each day, with BlackRock potentially buying over 4,000 Bitcoin each day, this is a big deal for Bitcoin, possibly leading to a major supply squeeze coming later on. And if we're taking a look at the selling pressure, at least as of right now from Grayscale, just today, Grayscale's only sold around 1,700 Bitcoin worth around $80 million US, which for Grayscale is honestly nothing. And so over the last one day, with BlackRock buying a lot more Bitcoin off the market than what Grayscale has actually been selling, obviously this is good news for Bitcoin, for the price of Bitcoin. And so, of course, this is leading to net inflows coming into the spot Bitcoin ETFs, with more money coming into the Bitcoin ETFs than what's actually leaving the ETFs. And once again, because these are spot Bitcoin ETFs, when investors or clients are wanting to buy up the ETFs, the ETF providers, like for example BlackRock, are having to buy up Bitcoin and hold that Bitcoin to back the ETFs because these are spot Bitcoin ETFs. And just over the last one day, we've actually seen the third biggest net inflow into the spot Bitcoin ETFs since the launch of the spot Bitcoin ETFs. Just over the last one day was the third biggest day of buying pressure. And so obviously with millions, if not billions, flowing into Bitcoin each and every weekday, and potentially that picking up more and more steam as time goes on, of course, with the Bitcoin halving also only in around 2 months from now, this is extremely bullish over the longer run, over the coming months or years for the price of Bitcoin. And if we're taking a look at the Bitcoin charts today, looking at the 3-day Bitcoin chart, right now we are finally seeing this fairly rare signal play out once again, because over the last 1 year or so, we've really only seen this signal 3 times, and in the bullish direction, it's only played out around 2 times over the last 1 year or so. And I talked about this chart in much more detail in my last few videos here on the channel. So if you're new to the channel and you want to know more about the details of this chart, then check out my last 1 to 2 videos here on the channel. But just giving you a quick recap of what's happening here on the 3-day Bitcoin chart, we have the Bollinger Bands that recently squeezed together, causing the Bollinger Bands width indicator to drop to the downside. And this typically means we're about to see a very volatile move in the price of Bitcoin. And that volatile move begins once we begin to see an expansion in the Bollinger Bands, which can be seen by the Bollinger Bands width indicator spiking back to the upside. And that's precisely what we are seeing right now, as I've talked about over the last couple of days. Obviously, this perfectly predicted the volatile move that we are now seeing playing out as expected. And we can also try and figure out the direction of these volatile moves by seeing if the price of Bitcoin is above or below the center line in the Bollinger Bands indicator. And as I said, over the last few days, the price of Bitcoin was sitting above the center line in the top half of the Bollinger Bands, which is bullish. And so right now, we're basically seeing that volatile move play out to the upside. And if we're simply taking a look at the last couple of volatile moves, obviously this example back in around January 2023, we saw around a 30% move to the upside play out over around 2 weeks. And if we're looking at the bearish example that we saw in August 2023, that was still around a 20% move that played out over around 1 week. And if we're looking at this third example in October 2023, that was around a 20 to 30% move that played out over around 1.5 weeks. And so we're talking about a 20 to 30% move over around 1 to 2 weeks. And so from where we started this volatile move, around a 20% move will take us up towards around $51,000. And a 30% move would put the price of Bitcoin at around $55,000 to $56,000, up around the $50,000 price range. And once again, simply based on history, these volatile moves usually play out over a couple of weeks. So we could potentially see the price of Bitcoin trading above 50,000 within the next 1 to 2 weeks or so if history simply repeats. And if we're taking a look at the daily Bitcoin charts, as I talked about in my last video, we finally invalidated the bearish divergence on the daily time frame by seeing a strong breakout confirmed here in the daily Bitcoin RSI. And so like I talked about in my last video, this was a bullish signal telling us that we are finally picking up a lot more bullish momentum in the price. And obviously this is continuing to play out as expected. And if we're taking a look at the daily Bitcoin MACD, once again, as I've been talking about almost every day over the last 2 weeks, this is looking bullish, and especially more recently, it's starting to show even more bullish momentum. And as for resistance, right now the price is actually running into this previous high, which if we're looking at the daily candle closes, that's sitting at roughly around 47,000. So that could act as a bit of resistance. And the candle wick high is sitting at around 49,000, which could also act as a bit of resistance in the short term. And staying on the daily Bitcoin charts, but taking a look at the DXY, also known as the US dollar index, over the last few days or so, we have actually seen a slight drop in the DXY, which I mentioned recently on the channel. And ideally, in order for the price of Bitcoin to flip even more bullish, we need to see a further drop sometime soon in the DXY back to the downside. Because as we can see on this chart right here, typically when the DXY is bearish, that is usually bullish for the price of Bitcoin and crypto. And now there are some cases where the DXY can be moving to the upside, while the price of Bitcoin can also be moving to the upside. But really, this just captures the overall larger moves in the market, not every single little individual move in the short term. And so once again, with the DXY still kind of trending to the upside, but seeing a slight dip in the short term, of course, if it remains within the bullish trend, technically that's still a possible bearish signal for Bitcoin and crypto. But as I just explained, sometimes the DXY can be slightly delayed, whereas other times it can be a leading indicator. So that's something worth considering. But as I explained in my last video, of course, even if we have one bearish signal on the chart, we need to keep in mind how many bearish things there are versus how many bullish things there are. And of course, right now, with a lot of inflows from spot Bitcoin ETFs and many other patterns and indicators looking bullish, there's simply more bullish things on the chart and happening fundamentally compared to bearish things happening right now. And so that is why it is important to not pay attention to just one single indicator or pattern, but try and look at as much data as possible and get an overall sentiment of what the market is looking like. But anyway, taking a look at the 8-hour Bitcoin chart, and as I've been talking about basically every day since all the way back around here, we have a bullish inverse head and shoulders pattern, which recently broke out to the upside with a confirmed breakout above the neckline, which was sitting at around 43,500. And obviously, ever since that breakout, the price has gone almost vertical from the breakout to right now, we're around 8% to the upside or to the price target. That was a total of a 12% move from the breakout to the price target if we complete this pattern. And from where we are right now to that price target, that's still a possible 3 to 4% move to the upside. And so obviously, if you took this long position in the price of Bitcoin, entered a trade anywhere near this breakout, obviously right now you're doing very well so far. And personally, with a breakout trade like this, I would have my stop loss at the very least at my entry price, but ideally moving my stop loss into profits as the trade moves further into profits. And so basically in that way, the worst case scenario, if we crash right now, that will just trigger my stop loss and exit me out of the trade automatically in profits. And if you want to know where I take these trades in the price of Bitcoin and any other crypto, personally, I take those trades over on Bybit. So I'll make sure to leave a link to Bybit in the description down below and in the pinned comment. And if you use that link down below this video to make a Bybit account and deposit on that account, you can get up to a $30,000 deposit bonus, but only if you use that link down below this video. But for whatever reason, if you cannot access Bybit or if you cannot KYC on Bybit, there is also Bitflex, which is another crypto exchange similar to Bybit, but you don't need KYC for Bitflex. And also right now, Bitflex is running an exclusive Apple Watch Series 9 giveaway if you use the link down below this video. because that link down there in the description or in the pinned comment would take you to this page right here where it tells you all about the giveaway if you want to enter this giveaway. But basically, all you need to do is just sign up for a free Bitflex account, deposit at least $100 worth of crypto on the account, and make just one trade on the derivatives market over at Bitflex to enter this Apple Watch Series 9 giveaway. And once again, only those of you who use the link down below this video to make a Bitflex account can actually enter this giveaway, because without that link, you cannot enter this giveaway, unfortunately. And so if you're trading crypto anyway, or if you're preparing to take the next trade, you might as well check out those links down below this video to get those extra bonuses or enter that giveaway over at Bitflex. But anyway, while the price of Bitcoin is still technically playing out this breakout, heading towards a bullish price target at 48.8K, we do have some short-term resistance levels to pay attention to. First of all, just recently, the price of Bitcoin has attempted a breakout above this Fibonacci level of resistance, which is sitting at around 46.8K. And at least as of recording this video, we're currently retesting that level. And as for other levels of resistance, as I said earlier in the video, we should be expecting a decent amount of resistance at around 47,000 based on these previous highs, and more resistance at around 49,000 based on the candle wick high back here. And as for support, in case we see a further breakback to the downside, a retracement back below 46.8K, then in that case, we should have some decent support in this area, sitting in between around 45,000 to around 45.4K. And obviously, in terms of the short-term trend and momentum, we're clearly looking bullish right now, forming higher lows and higher highs. And once again, as I said earlier on the daily time frame, we have bullish momentum right now. And if we're taking a quick look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, our final area of liquidity to the upside is sitting at around 49K to 49.1K approximately. But honestly, we don't really have a lot of liquidity to the upside. And as for liquidity to the downside, we do have a decent area sitting in between around 44.1K to around 44.4K. And so basically, pretty much exactly at this area of support that I just mentioned earlier, we do have a decent amount of liquidity. So once again, if we see a short-term pullback back below around 46.8K, that could be a potential area to target if we see a pullback. But once again, we're currently looking more bullish than bearish in terms of the trend and momentum. And something similar can be said for Ethereum on the daily time frame, because right now we're getting very close to invalidating this bearish divergence. As we can see, the RSI is getting very close to breaking out above this line of resistance. But if we're taking a look at the daily Ethereum MACD, as I've already been talking about over the last half a week or so, this is already flipping in the bullish direction. We've already confirmed a bullish cross for the last multiple days. And so as I've been saying, over the last 4 days or so, this is showing more and more bullish momentum here in the short term. And of course, a lot of this short-term bullish price action is playing out due to the fact that we're now playing out this bullish breakout from this symmetrical triangle pattern with a bullish price target at around 2580. And I've been talking about this bullish breakout heading towards this bullish price target basically every day since all the way back down here at around 2.3K. And so once again, as I've also mentioned recently on the channel, I have taken a long position right around here in the price of ETH, and I'm still holding that long position further to the upside. And basically, as the price of ETH gets very close to this bullish price target, I will take a lot of profits off the table from that specific short-term leveraged long position. And so once again, I'm not selling any of my long-term holdings, any of my spot holdings, just for this short-term long position that I've taken right here. I will close a significant amount of that trade around this technical price target, just before the technical price target. And of course, I'm moving my stop loss further into profits. So in the worst case scenario, even if we crash right now, I will automatically exit the trade in profits as the worst case scenario. And if you're new to this and you want to know how to take these trades in the price of ETH or any other crypto, stick around to the end of this video because I have a few tutorial videos to show you. And also, once again, if you're trading the price of cryptos, then check out those links down below this video to get those extra bonuses or enter that giveaway. If you're trading anyway, you might as well do that. But anyway, taking a look at the 8-hour ETH to US dollar chart, and right now, as of recording this video, the price of ETH is now running into short-term resistance, which is sitting at approximately 2490 to 2.5K. And at least as of right now, once again, at the time of recording this video, we have not yet confirmed a breakout above that resistance with candle closes above that resistance. But if we do end up confirming a breakout above around 2,500, then in that case, the next resistance level to watch out for is sitting at around 2580 to 2580. $25.90 approximately. And these levels of resistance are based on previous highs and also important Fibonacci levels. And as for support, in case we see a rejection from this resistance sitting at around $24.90, in case we actually reject from that resistance, then I would expect support in this price range sitting in between around $23.90 to around $24.30. And now, if you're new to the channel, if you've only just found my videos and you missed this breakout opportunity right here, there's possibly a new opportunity waiting for us in the price of Solana here on the 8-hour time frame. Because at least as of right now, the price of Solana is currently running into the important golden pocket area of resistance, which is sitting in between around $105 going up towards around $107. And so at least as of right now, because we have not confirmed a breakout with candle closes above $107, technically we have not confirmed a bullish price target or this bullish pattern in play, at least not yet. And so it's important to understand that while the price is still below this resistance, it's still a possibility that we could end up seeing another rejection from the resistance. But I'll be keeping a very close eye on the price of Solana, because once we confirm a breakout above $107 with candle closes above that level, then that confirms a bullish price target based on this inverse head and shoulders pattern, which is sitting at approximately $134. And so from the point of the breakout from around $107 to that price target, that's around a 25% move to the upside with no leverage. And so just for example, with a 10x leverage trade, that could potentially be a 250% profit with that one single trade. But obviously with the more leverage, the more risk is also involved with more leverage. And as always, if we break out to the upside, the point of invalidation at that point would be a break back below this area right here. So if we break out to the upside and then break back below around $105, then in that case, that would invalidate the breakout, invalidate the price target, and invalidate the pattern. And so basically, once we finally confirm a breakout above $107, we then need to hold above that area in order to keep this breakout and price target active. And we also have some short-term resistance right here at around $114 and more resistance at around $125. And now if we end up seeing another short-term rejection from this golden pocket, then in that case, we should find some support at around $99. And below that, we have a lot more support down towards around $94 to $95. But either way, if you want to know how you can profit from these moves in the crypto market, whether we're bullish, bearish, or simply chopping around sideways, you can make money in all of those scenarios by watching these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you step-by-step how to open and close long positions and short positions to make money if the price is bullish or bearish. And the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.